People sometimes criticize Tesla for gigacasting. They say gigacasting is too expensive to replace, rah, rah, rah. You know what? That is ridiculous. Absolutely preposterously, insanely ridiculous, because the benefits of having a car with gigacast parts in it are so immense that the concern over insurance costs is utterly insane. The amount of times that people have been involved in enormous, insane crashes in Tesla vehicles and walked out of it with barely a scratch proves beyond any question that the safety tests in Euro NCAP safety scores, the safety scores that Tesla are getting, are in no small part due to its use of gigacasting. And that is clearly saving lives. In this instance, it just saved 5 lives. No doubt about it. This vehicle that was crashed in China, I mean, the people in this vehicle should have been dead. This thing rolled 7 times and launched itself over several cars. It should have been smashed to pieces, and it wasn't. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, this is luck. There's a bit of luck here going on, and there could have been, but how many times can we call crashes like this luck? How many times can we say a Tesla drove off a cliff and landed 150 feet below in the ocean below and the people survived? It was luck. How many crashes are we going to see and say, oh, it was just luck, until we start to say, you know what? Gigacasting should be used by all manufacturers. Now, Xiaomi are using gigacasting. They have an 8,200 pound gigacast press that they say enables them to save thousands of dollars, but to improve the structural rigidity, the crash worthiness, the safety of its new SU7. Now, Xiaomi's revolutionary manufacturing process is possibly even better than Tesla's, but the point here remains. Gigacasting is clearly improving the structural rigidity of cars, increasing the crash worthiness. At the same time, it is reducing the weight of EVs. There's so many benefits. Now, getting back to this crash here, if we didn't need any more evidence that Tesla vehicles were incredibly safe, you need to watch this crash and see what happened here. There's 5 people in this car. Every single one of them was fine. One of them actually was sitting in the car. As you can see, it incredibly didn't set itself on fire. It smashed and rolled 7 times, and there's no fire, no nothing. This, I think, proves as well that the lithium iron phosphate batteries that Tesla are using, they are so incredibly good. They're so incredibly unlikely to be involved in a fire. Now, if this was a gasoline-powered vehicle, there's a very good chance this thing would have lit itself up. So massive, massive kudos here to the safety of lithium iron phosphate batteries today. Be very unlikely to catch fire, as you can see here. Now, remarkably, the passenger in the front of the car, you can see the guy has some blood on his hands, but he just grabs his mobile phone out of his pocket to start calling the emergency services. Everyone in the car was totally fine. I couldn't believe it. I saw this crash. I saw the car roll 7 times. It was driving at an insane speed. Whoever was driving this car, the lady driving this car, I don't know what she was doing, but she was driving ridiculously fast. This reminds me of a crash from a video like Fast and the Furious, something that you just never see in real life. The Tesla Model Y goes several feet into the air, rolls over 7 times, and finally comes to a stop, somehow landing correctly on all 4 wheels. You can see the Model Y not only up in the air, but also lengthwise, meaning that some parts of the vehicle were more than 15 feet up in the air. That's amazing. The accident was crazy, but what's so impressive is the outcome. All of these people were totally fine. The Model Y had 4 passengers, a woman behind the wheel, a man in the passenger seat, and 2 more people in the back. After the vehicle rolled 7 times and was up several feet in the air, Talk News says that the Model Y ended up on the right side, which helped with, obviously, people getting out. The accident was as severe as it sounds, they say. The Model Y's windshield was completely shattered after rolling over so many times. Not only was the windshield shattered, but actually it was completely gone. I can't see any part of the windshield at all. After being in the air, the Model Y's glass roof was equally shattered, with big chunks of the glass roof missing. But of course, the frame of the roof was fine. Almost all parts of the vehicle from bumper to bumper experienced severe to moderate damage. But clearly you can see the structure of the vehicle held up incredibly well. Similar to the video that captured the Model Y several feet up in the air and rolling over, several videos have come out sharing the aftermath, showing the results. The Model Y's windshield was gone. The vehicle settled on its wheels. But you can see the airbags throughout the vehicle have been properly deployed. The driver, passenger, and all side-mounted airbags were deployed, which also clearly combined to save the passengers. In addition, an airbag can be seen deployed between the driver and the passenger. The airbag is specifically designed to stop the damage that can be caused when the driver and the passenger come into contact, potentially smashing into each other during an accident. So it prevents that from happening. Here you can see this airbag has worked really well by stopping the driver and the passenger from colliding with each other, even though they were both up in the air, spinning around for several seconds, and the car obviously rolled violently. After the airbags, what you can see is the Model Y passengers also, well, they weren't severely harmed either. Apparently they've got some pretty minor injuries, but they're able to go home the same day. You can see some blood on the passengers. It appears this was caused by pieces of glass that shattered during the car rolling over. Could even be from other vehicles that this car has obviously collided with. Despite the minor injuries, the passengers were doing perfectly well, said the actual bystanders and the emergency services. Now, the man here was incredibly calm. He's been involved in this insane crash. It would have scared the hell out of anyone. But he's really calm, and he pulls his phone out of his pocket while he's sitting in the car, and I think, calls emergency services. Now, keep in mind the Tesla Model Y is actually the safest car in the world. There's only one car. I think the Model S got a higher safety score. Obviously, that's not a mass market car, but the safest vehicle in the world, according to Euro NCAP testing, safety testing, is the Tesla Model Y. The Model Y received this honor after ongoing tests by several governmental, regulatory, and third-party non-profit organizations, which afforded the mid-sized electric SUV the highest safety ranks in their respective testing, which is a pretty incredible result considering this is just, a relatively common vehicle. It's not like some sort of luxury car that has all these extra safety things that you would pay extra money for. In the US, a leading regulatory agency that sets standards and determines the safety level of the most popular vehicles is the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, or the NHTSA. Now, if you were to listen to the news from the NHTSA, they seem to be trying to recall Tesla's vehicles all the time. And it would give you the impression that Tesla vehicles are not safe at all. Well, yeah, clearly that's not correct. The organization, which is part of the Department of Transportation, tested the Model Y and awarded Tesla's all-electric mid-sized SUV a 5-star safety rating in every category, which is obviously the highest possible score. Tesla actually highlighted the Model Y's rollover risk at the time, and they said this: rollovers significantly increase the risk of injury during an accident. To calculate rollover resistance in NHTSA's test, the Model Y is parked on a suspended platform that rotates in all directions to physically measure center of gravity and moments of inertia. NHTSA's assessment determined that the Model Y has a rollover risk of 7.9%, the lowest of any SUV ever recorded in history. Now, this is one of the advantages of EVs. Essentially, because the battery is very low, the center of gravity is therefore very low as well. You don't have a high engine. And this makes the car much safer. But generally, you're not going to roll over at all. It's very hard to roll over. You've got to be going really fast and turn really fast, be doing something quite extreme. But when you do, you'll find that often in an internal combustion engine car, the engine will end up in an entirely different location. Your car will be here, the engine will be over there, and it's like a flying projectile. Now, obviously, with an EV, that rarely happens. It's really another good reason to buy an electric car. And the reason is obviously protecting your family, having the safest vehicle. If you want the safest car, well, definitely consider buying an electric car. Thanks for watching.